All right, at 7 o'clock, we'll call the public hearing to order. Bob, will you read the notice of public hearing?
Yep. Please take notice an application has been made by Bob Cook of Cook Dairy, Camp Winnebago Road, for a conditional use permit to expand the feedlot from 274 animal units to 482 animal units. The facility will consist of several buildings, 2 proposed new ones, and a couple open lots there. In Winnebago Township, said applicant standing making applications of fee owner such described land. A hearing on this application will be held at the Historic Courthouse Commissioners Room, City, Caledonia, Minnesota, 55921 at 7 p.m. on Thursday, July 24th. All persons having an interest in the matter will be given the opportunity to be heard relative to the granting or denying a said application. Houston County Planning Commission, Bob Scanlon, advertised July 9th, 2014. This site here is on the east side of Camp Winnebago Road, opposite the road from the dairy. This site has been in place for many years and includes calves, heifers, mainly few dry cows. But what's being proposed here is 243 stall barn for heifers and loose housing barn for 200 calves, weaned calves up to about 400 or 500 pounds. So 2 buildings there being proposed. No big manure storage or anything like that. The idea is to haul manure as they can every day. There's a manure management plan that's been put together by Budenberg. What's his first name? Derek Budenberg, I think, from Waukon. And he's been working on that, and should be coming up with a final draft here shortly. He's sent a couple versions in. I worked with him and Bob on this to just dedicate acres solely for this feedlot, separate from the dairy feedlot, just to show that there's adequate acres to spread the manure just from this facility. And all of this manure would be going down in Winnebago, at the bottom there, Winnebago Valley, on Berg's farm, Jim Berg's land. And so that's roughly 600 acres available down there, of which about 500 is going to be far enough from the creek and things like that. So they've got adequate acres to spread the manure. The reason for the expansion here is Cooks are bringing cattle and calves from other rented feedlots to the one here that they own, and it'd just be a little easier to chore and keep things together, a little easier to manage, especially in the wintertime. So did get one inquiry about it, and that inquiry was, the person was confused because on the west side of the road where the dairy is, Cooks are still adding on to a freestyle barn over there that was permitted in 08, and that will be the final expansion that would bring them up to their permitted animal unit on that side of the road. And that construction is underway already. But this here is on the east side of the road, and it's a separate feedlot. Each feedlot has its own registration number through FPCA. That's all I got.
Okay, Bob, do you have any other thing to add or to say regarding this?
No.
Are you going to bid with stocks or sand?
The pin pack would be corn stalks, and then the freestall barn would be sand.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to put a 20,000 gallon pit in, or just, the small pit there too.
Yeah.
And the freestall barn. And we have the other, if the weather really gets bad, we have that other big pit at the dairy that we can haul up to. We keep up with that all the time. So.
Okay, so you won't be hauling Bailey then necessarily out in the wintertime. You'll
No,
have some storage there.
Yeah.
Any other questions from members?
Did you say the manure plan was complete, Bob, or?
There's been 2 drafts submitted, but I need additional information. He's getting it narrowed down to just about complete here. I forget what the last couple of things I needed from Word, but I got a checklist that I go down through and make sure everything's included. He's just about got it.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the acres, we got that pinned down, you know, in the location.
Any other questions?
Should make it a lot easier for you feeding calves and instead of running around all these.
Well,
other
that's it, we're on the road so much, you know,
Yeah.
it would save a lot, you know, a lot of running, and especially in the winter with all that ice and snow, and it's the, the one farm we got is straight up and down, and we gotta go through the field to get there, and can't get in his driveway. Then we bought a different TMR, and they didn't do it right, and it's no weight on the drawbar, and one thing leads to another all the time.
Yeah,
That's the way it works. Nothing can be perfect, you know.
right.
Okay, if there are no other questions, Jerry, you got any questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, we'll read the findings and the criteria.
Planning Commission shall not recommend a conditional use permit unless they find the following. Number 1, does the proposed use conform to the county land use plan? 2, does the applicant demonstrate a need for the proposed use? 3, will the proposed use degrade the water quality of the county? 4, will the proposed use adversely increase the quantity of water runoff? 5, are soil conditions adequate to accommodate the proposed use? 6, have potential pollution hazards been addressed and have standards been met? 7, are adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities being provided? 8, are adequate measures being taken to provide sufficient off-street parking, loading space to serve the proposed use? 9, are facilities being provided to eliminate any traffic congestion or traffic hazard which may result from the proposed use? 10, will the conditional use be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in immediate vicinity for purposes already permitted? 11, does the establishment of the conditional use impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding vacant property for predominant uses in the area? 12, are adequate measures being taken to prevent and control offensive odor, fumes, dust, noise, and vibration so that none of these will constitute a nuisance, and control lights, signs, and other lights in such a manner that no disturbance of neighboring properties will result? 13 is not applicable. 14 is not applicable. 15, are site-specific conditions and such other conditions established as required for the protection of public health, safety, moral, and general welfare?
Okay, are there any questions on the criteria or comments?
And Mr. Chairman, I won't be voting on this matter because a cousin of mine is a neighbor to him, and also I have a cousin that works for Rob.
Okay. All right, is any other questions on these findings, or any questions or comments regarding the criteria? If there's no questions regarding runoff and all of that, you've got a plan of these new buildings and roofs and the water coming off, you've
Yeah.
got some
Rain gutters and
rain, no way to direct it and stuff, okay? Shouldn't impact, it's all on your land, shouldn't impact any neighbor's land or anything like that, runoff?
no, no,
Yeah.
no.
All right, is there any other comments or questions on these criteria? If not, I'd entertain a motion, one way or the other.
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit with local, state, and federal permits and the manure management plan in line.
Okay, we have a motion, recommend approval, subject to all state and federal regulations and subject to a complete manure plan. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second, Rich. Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go to the county board then August 5th, so about a week and a half for final approval.
Okay.
Then
Go ahead.
you'll be set to go.
Okay, good. So it's time for me to get out of here then?
You can sit there if you want, Rob.
No, that's okay. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, thank
Thanks
you.
for coming.
Appreciate it.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, gotta watch it.
Okay, have we'll take a look at the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from last week? Is there any comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, a motion is made to approve the minutes.
Second.
And seconded by Glenn.
Terry.
Terry, all right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, the zoning permits. Do we have a chance to look those over?
Does Paul Bauer, Jefferson Township, where is he at?
Huh?
Paul Bauer,
Yeah,
Well, by Cole.
right on 14 there, right?
oh, between,
On the south side of the highway there, double on the spot.
okay.
Yeah. Hard to explain where it is, but.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, east of Jefferson Road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You bought some of that land on the south side of the road from Bob Welch, huh?
Yeah.
Or Glenn Bauer's brother.
Yeah, might have been part
Glenn
of
Bauer's married to Linda Welch.
that.
Okay.
Where's Helke's building in Holcomb Township, Bob?
Which one?
Helke? Freddie Helke on the first
Oh,
page
up
there?
on Fred Jumper's old farm between Brownsville and Holcott.
Well, they gonna have 3 houses on that farm now, or?
Yeah, one burned this winter. This is back in the 740. And the bank is foreclosing on the one that was supposed to be moved.
The mobile home,
Yeah.
double wide
Yeah.
thing there?
And so I'm still working on getting that one
And
finished.
Fred's house burned down?
Yeah, back in January.
I didn't even know that.
Mhm.
Jeepers. Okay. Okay. That's the only question I had.
So the Ingelsons, they got their silage bunkers, 2 new silage bunkers.
Yeah,
Are they back from the road, or are they?
yeah, they'll sit back on the back side of the buildings, on the north side.
They don't need any variances or anything?
No, they own a lot of land around there.
Anybody call or comment, Bob, about any of these?
No, I don't think so. No?
Well, Josh Dearson had a conditional use hearing earlier today, or Josh Getzinger.
Last
That was
month.
last one, or last one.
No, pretty straightforward, I guess.
Okay, there's no other questions on the zoning permits. I ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept them.
The motion, is there a second? Is there a second to Garland's motion to approve?
I'll second.
Glenn, second. Okay, motion made second to approve the zoning permits. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, under other business, we're talking here about Jim and Tom Walsh's land alteration.
I forgot about
This is a yearly renewal. This is out north of the county airport. They had applied for a conditional use permit back in '05, and at the time, the county board decided to have this renewable every year. And so they're just doing their due diligence here and get it renewed again for this coming year.
What is it they're doing? What's the
Excavating
substantial?
black dirt and selling black dirt.
It's a black
mine.
dirt?
Yeah.
Borrowing?
Mining out dirt.
Okay.
They've never
Bob,
put
that
a
might
shovel
do it
full
every
on it,
year.
yeah, this has been going on for about
It's
5
renewable
years.
every
Was
year.
going to
The
take
stipulations are in fact.
I just wondered,
I just
wondered,
Yeah.
so they were just gonna take the year off before that.
They haven't done something.
Well, the airport.
Not as long as they keep it going. This
Finish
is
up on that.
this is mine. There's no deadline.
Yeah.
Okay, regarding the renewal, conditional use permit renewal for the Walshers, any other comments, questions?
I'll make a motion to recommend renewal of the conditional use.
Any problems, just quick, problems or complaints ever, Bob? Or-
On that one, no.
Yeah.
No?
Okay, we have a motion to recommend approval. Is there a second to it?
I'll second.
Glenn seconded. All right, we have a motion made and seconded to recommend approval for renewal of the Walshers conditional use permit. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right.
Yeah, there's a.
Yeah, Bob, why don't you talk about that?
The EQB staff has notified several counties in the area, and they'd like to send a couple staff members down and talk to each county in regard to their mining ordinances, and they're scheduled to come to Houston County next Thursday, about 10:30, in this room here. So the study committee will be meeting with them while the county board. If any of you guys are interested in coming, you're certainly welcome to. I'm not sure exactly what they plan to talk about, but I imagine it has to do with their draft ordinance revisions or recommendations for counties putting together ordinances. And just want to make sure, I think, that everybody's kind of on the same page there. So that's next Thursday. And we've been meeting every Monday with our study committee. That will be postponed for next Monday and rescheduled for next Thursday at 8 o'clock because EQB is coming later in the morning. So I'm just going to double up. So that's the gist of that.
Okay, that'd probably be a good meeting, so if any guys can make it. Good.
Who's going to, is EQB going to run the meeting, county board going to run a meeting, or
EQB, I believe, is
EQB is going to?
yeah, give an agenda or kind
I
of
think they might be using the
run.
Okay, just kind of wondering what was
Yeah.
going to happen.
I'm not sure we can have a full county board there, but.
They're gonna.
We're advertising.
They're
Oh,
advertising.
you are? Oh, okay.
It's in the paper.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
It'll
that,
be a
Let's PowerPoint take your notes.
Won't get much done there.
Okay, well,
it'll be a long morning, I bet that for the first meeting first.
under other business, most of you probably read the Argus and the Herald last week about the letter from Van Gorps. Pretty well attacking Bob and Rick and myself, so I did take the liberty to make a statement that I'd like to release, but I'd like to hand it down to you guys first to read, see what you, and I would release this to the public for publication.
Glad you brought this up, Dan, because I kind of wanted to too.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very good. Put it out there, you know. It says how it was, you know, this is democracy. And if somebody don't like it, it's too bad, because they can holler all they want.
Well written, Dan.
Yep.
Short and to the point.
It's such an emotional issue
Yep.
that you can't get into the specifics, but we just have to do our job. So, anyway, that's free to publish as a response to that letter
I'll forward it
to,
to the Herald. Did you send a copy to the Argus too?
I can, yeah. Yeah, or, I mean,
I'll go ahead, I'll just scan this and send it on
okay,
with my report from tonight.
okay, so it'll end up then in the Herald and then,
Under the commentary.
okay. Okay, very good. All right, is there any other business?
Can I just ask one quick
Yeah.
question about
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
very issue? Brian raised, I think it was 6 points, and wanted it brought before the Board of Adjustment. That was the gist of it, right?
Board of Adjustment.
Yeah, well, there is due process, you know, that you gotta follow when you
Right.
appeal things. He wanted to bring it to the Board of Adjustment because he felt that the Planning Commission made a decision and that I made a decision. Well, neither I nor the Planning Commission made a decision on Erickson's. That was a county board decision.
Right, right.
And so if he wants to appeal that decision, he sure can. But it has to be the district court, okay? And so, just a matter of following the correct due process. And, we couldn't process the application because, number one, the entities that he said made decisions did not make decisions. And number two, it was the wrong board to take it to.
The Board of Adjustment, you said?
Right, it needs to go to district court because it's a county board decision. And all 6 of his issues were reviewed, were investigated, and all found to be compliant. So, and they've all been documented as such. So, I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, I just, when the letter not only brings into question board members personally, but yourself, Rick, and you, Dan, but also this commission.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's why I want you to see what you read that letter before I send it.
and so, is this on behalf, I just want to get this really
I
clear, on
signed it.
behalf
Well,
of the...
no, I signed it, but if you have an objection to it, I mean, you can write your own letter.
No, I just
Yeah.
want to clarify it, that's
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
it.
Well, I signed it because I was named,
Right.
yeah. But if you want to change how it's signed, you can do that.
No, I don't, I just want everybody to be on the same page.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it certainly could be signed by Houston County Planning Commission, take my name off.
I mean, it's very truthful, it's fact, it addresses the facts.
But you can't get into the, you can't argue the case again in the paper. You just got to state the background facts and go.
That's done with.
Yeah.
Time to go on.
Okay, any other questions? If there's not, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
Chair moves to adjourn. Dana seconded. This motion made second to adjourn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.